Sexual harassment in the workplace occurs not only in the US, but all over the world. These are some of the victims' testimonies. For our interview, we had a private room at the restaurant. I went in, and the first thing he told me was, "Daria, you know you have very beautiful legs. Could you take off your pantyhose and walk around the room while I answer your questions?" I said that I'm not going to do that, but I needed that interview. So I tolerated his conduct and kept asking questions. In the course of our conversation, as if nothing had happened, he asked me if I would like to take part in one of his films. Kevorkian invited me to join him for a glass of wine and spend the rest of the night with him.
When I was 14, I worked at Tim Hortons in Canada. While I was working, I had an older man, looked to be in his 60s or 70s, tell me that he couldn't sleep at night without me beside him in his bed, and asked if I would come home with him. I was absolutely disgusted that a man would say that to me as a child.
I was used to how the guys acted, but being cornered in the small produce cooler by a rather large coworker was not something I was looking forward to. He would not let me pass, and believe me, there was no way around him. He began putting his hands on me and pulling me towards him as if to kiss. He then showed me his penis. I had to show him I was carrying a pocket knife so he would leave me be. To be a female in the food service, you have to have thick skin. You have to endure the sexism and the insulting jokes. You have to work twice as hard as any man does.
Sexual harassment is so prevalent in the Caribbean that it becomes normalized in the workplace, which is scary. But you come to accept it, and you know who to avoid and how to navigate the halls, and who not to sit next to. I experienced it from someone in a senior leadership position, inappropriate comments and touching as well. When this happened, I definitely shrank. My self-doubt and self-criticism increased. I always dressed appropriately for the office, but I was extra cautious. I thought that how I dressed was the reason I was targeted. Not once, but twice. I played small, taking up less space, not speaking up for fear of engaging in conversation with certain people. If you say the wrong thing, will it be misconstrued?
After I joined the professional world, I knew it was annoying when one of my clients stared at my breasts at a meeting rather than the presentation I had worked on for the entire night. I felt it was a little creepy when men would shake my hand or give me a hug that lasted longer than it should. But I didn't realize this was sexual harassment. Maybe it was just flirting. Maybe I didn't understand how relationships function in the workplace. I didn't connect those incidences with sexual harassment because I thought it should be something much more severe, like rape. One of my colleagues was being a bit handsy, putting his hand up my shirt and rubbing my lower back and making suggestive comments. I just remember being completely still, looking at the faces of people all around us, wondering if they were seeing this. I tried my best not to act weird or do anything out of the ordinary. In an attempt to separate myself, I went to the storage closet to get more chips and snacks. He followed me into the closet, and he assaulted me. Your initial reaction when something like that happens is to challenge your own credibility. Is it because I'm ditzy or because of how I dress? Am I too provocative? Was I being too flirty? Did I invite it? Did I make him feel like he could do that? Was it because I initially didn't say no when he touched my back and stroked my leg? Is that why he thought it was okay? But the fact is, when I said no in that closet, he didn't stop. And I found myself in survival mode, trying to talk him down. There was a bit of a tussle, and I was far more concerned about keeping the incident secret while trying to protect myself rather than making a scene.
One of my coworkers is pretty shy and has been getting hit on by one of our ruder coworkers. One time I witnessed her trying to grab his ass. He didn't appreciate it but didn't want to cause any problems by reporting it. After getting rejected by him, she reported him for sexual harassment.